What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today we are talking more about Star Wars because there is a lot of enthusiasm within the Star Wars brand and community, a lot more than we have had in recent years, and rightfully so. The Mandalorian has done a good job. It's been a step in the right direction, and many people have enthusiasm moving forward with Star Wars. I myself have said I do enjoy The Mandalorian. I don't enjoy it as much as a lot of other people do, but I definitely enjoy it. It has problems. There are things to be concerned about, no doubt, but it is definitely a step in the right direction. But I also made a video a few weeks ago talking about how The Mandalorian cannot save Star Wars, and it can't. Not in isolation, because there are a lot of problems surrounding Star Wars, and while it's good, while I've enjoyed many parts of it, it simply can't just save Star Wars. Why? Because Star Wars is still ran by Kathleen Kennedy. Now, everyone has found a lot of good because Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have seemed to move away from the feminist nonsense and the woke nonsense of the sequel trilogy. And a lot of people have found a lot of comfort in that. But when you look beyond what's right in front of us, it's clear that Kathleen Kennedy is still in charge and Star Wars is still in a bad place. This was posted by Star Wars Stuff, and it says, Rain Roberts, who played a major role in developing the sequel trilogy and Rebels, has been confirmed as a co-developer of the Acolyte. She will also develop upcoming Star Wars films. So this is the series that is being showrun by Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant. That's right, Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant is heading up this project, and now we have Rain Roberts, who worked on the sequels, and trust me, that is not anything positive to talk about. But what's awesome is we are still pandering to the social justice weirdos, and that is what Kathleen Kennedy wants. Now, Rain Roberts is been in development, a development executive at Lucasfilm since 2012. She was instrumental in development and production of Star Wars: The Force Awakens, Rogue One, The Last Jedi, Solo, and The Rise of Skywalker. Her film background includes several years of development executive at Gold Circle Films, a role as an associate producer on the award-winning documentary The Fair Trade, and just a bunch of blah, 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 blah. Now, the point is why is it woke? Well, is it woke because she's an African-American woman or a black woman or a person of color or whatever Twitter's deciding is the acceptable way to, explain this person? No, it's because she worked on the sequel trilogy. That's her claim to fame. That's her claim to fame, the sequel trilogy, and the entire show is being ran by Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant. Now, if you look in the comments here, we've also got people doing, this is what Kathleen Kennedy wants right here. This is what Kathleen Kennedy wants. Lucasfilm is hiring more people to oversee multiple projects, just like the fandom kept begging for. But watch a bunch of angry dude bros complain on YouTube because the person in question isn't a white guy. Someone says, show me one YouTube channel that does that. Geeks and Gamers, Doomcock, Midnight Sedge, That Star Wars Girl 77, and Mike Zero. Literally any YouTube channel openly connected to the Fandom Menace. Now, as you know, that's absolutely a lie. When someone says, can you give me specific instances? Of course they can't. Now, this is the crowd that Kathleen Kennedy wants. They want the social justice weirdo crowd. They want to continue to pander to a group of people that throw lies based on social justice weirdo politics. And that is what's happening. So as good as The Mandalorian has been, and it's been good, it doesn't matter because Kathleen Kennedy is still in charge. And all roads still lead to the sequel trilogy. Now, there's been a lot of back and forth within our little corner of the internet. I don't really discuss the Fandom Menace that much anymore. For a long time, people tried to say I was the leader of the Fandom Menace. I tried to distance myself from that because ultimately, I have no power or control over the Fandom Menace. It's a hashtag. That's it. And a lot of people within that hashtag have expressed a lot of anger towards what's going on with The Mandalorian, and those concerns are valid. They're 100% valid because a lot of those people are looking at it going, hey, The Mandalorian is making people happy, but is everyone forgetting that Kathleen Kennedy is running Star Wars? And I understand those sentiments. I absolutely do. I understand them. And then there's been a lot of people within the Fandom Menace hashtag that have found a lot of enjoyment within The Mandalorian, and that has created a lot of friction. I do believe that there are some really, snake, I guess you would call them snakes in the grass, basically, within the Fandom Menace. People that, if you like Dave Filoni, if you like anything that he produces, then they're going to throw you under the bus. This has happened to me. It's happened to, several times it's happened to me, where if you simply just like something that Dave Filoni produces, then you get thrown under the bus. That's just how it is. And I don't really have time for that Twitter nonsense. I really don't. I have other things going on. That's why people said, are you the leader of the Fandom Menace? No, I'm the leader of Geeks and Gamers. Because Geeks and Gamers is something that I do have influence on and control. And by having that control, it allows me to express that it is about individuals having their own individual opinion, whether you like Disney Star Wars or if you hate it, whether you like Trump or you don't like Trump, whether you like this or you like that. That's what Geeks and Gamers represents. There's a clear vision behind it. With the Fandom Menace, it's just a collection of a bunch of people, and it started out where it was about being against political ideology and social justice nonsense in our entertainment, because ultimately, if a show is good and bad, that's just something that comes down to your subjective opinion. The entire stance of the Fandom Menace was to get social justice nonsense out of our entertainment. That's it. Because we've always argued whether this was good or that was bad within the Star Wars universe or in the fandom. We've always argued about that. Good film and bad film, that is part of being a fan. That is part of being in the geek community. It's just like I always said. The Last Jedi is where everything fell apart for Disney Star Wars, and it begins and ends with a bad movie. If you make a bad movie, then it's going to start exposing you to all these other things that these weirdos in Hollywood say. So when The Last Jedi turned out to be a complete and total disaster, we then had the fans calling it out for the shit that it was. Then you had the filmmakers and the producers blaming the fans for their bad product. And that's why I continue to say it begins and ends with making a bad product. And then if you blame the fans for your bad product, then you're going to have a shit show on your hands. I've talked about Zack Snyder's DCEU many times. I am a big fan of Zack Snyder. I am not a fan of his DC movies. But Zack Snyder faced a shit ton of criticism for his movies. And he never lashed out against the fans, ever. And that's why I respect Zack Snyder. One of the many reasons I respect Zack Snyder. It begins and ends with a good or a bad movie. And how you handle it is how you are going to be treated. But if you make a good product and people like it, then all the other nonsense doesn't matter. That's been my stance. So where we are with Star Wars, we're in a strange place because The Mandalorian has been positively received by a lot of people, rightfully so. But there are other people that are seeing it beyond what's right in front of them, and that is they're going, well, this is a Kathleen Kennedy production, this is a Kathleen Kennedy company, and we still have all roads leading to the sequel trilogy, and I totally understand that. I do get that. There is not a wrong or a right stance. There is just a lot of perspective that needs to be added to the equation. But there are people out there that will simply just throw your opinion under the bus simply because it disagrees with what they want you to disagree with. I have caught hell for being a Dave Filoni fan for the longest time. It's nothing new. It's not a big deal. It is what it is. That is part of the internet. It's part of having an opinion. But this whole Fandom Menace nonsense going on, it's something that really primarily is taking place on Twitter. And luckily, I'm not on Twitter anymore, at least on my personal account. I interact on Twitter from the Geeks and Gamers account, and I have another locked account where I follow news, but I don't get into the bullshit. It really all comes down to Twitter, and Twitter is a shit show. It doesn't benefit anyone in any capacity whatsoever to be there, especially if you're engaging in nonsensical arguments. It just doesn't help anything. But the ultimate thing we need to realize here is that Kathleen Kennedy is still in charge, and Star Wars is still going to be that social justice propaganda machine. The Mandalorian is good. The Mandalorian is enjoyable. It is a step in the right direction. But as we step in that right direction, Kathleen Kennedy and her feminist bullshit are going to sit there, and she's going to let everyone know that she is still right there, and she's going to continue to push her bullshit. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later.